Hello friends, thank you so much for joining me today. Happy Tuesday as this video goes up. I'm shooting it on Monday and I'm excited to talk some more about Nude by Nature. So Nude by Nature is this brand that's not actually a brand new brand. It's an Australian brand. It has come to the US, it's come to Walmart, and I have done a video on some of the things I initially tried. And guess what? Over these past couple weeks here, I've kept trying more. I've been really impressed by the quality and they're just a brand I'm really latching on to right now. I also discovered this woman on TikTok. Her name is Emily. I think she's my same age and she's also into this brand too. But in this video, I thought I could chat about some of the newer things that I have and put them on just to set the stage here. I already had the foundation. Okay, I like this foundation. I used it last week in a video. It's the Perfect Skin Filter Foundation. Shade is Classic Beige. Okay, enjoy this. This has really beautiful coverage, like a strong medium coverage, and kind of a natural finish on the skin. Packaging is really nice. So that's a base product option. Another thing that I have that would count as a base product, they sell a loose powder foundation. So I have that in C3 light medium. I've worn these separately, but I've also found that this can look really good lightly on top of this one too. I was kind of hesitant to do that because I just thought, oh, it's powder foundation. But then I thought, what stopped me before? I've been known to layer up that way. And so just lightly, like adding some of that on, they wear really well together. And then kind of a third base thing, this is my new thing, the Hydra Serum Mineral Radiance Drops. These come in two shades, the Pearl, or I think it's called Bronze, but a lighter and a deeper option. This still has like some tinted glow to it, even just being the Pearl, as you will see, but this could also be maybe a base option paired with concealer and paired with the powder foundation. That's what I think I'm going to try today, because I haven't paired these two together before. I've worn this under this liquid foundation. I thought they wore great together, but it is very, very liquidy, as you can tell as I shake it, and very shimmery too. So like I said, I got the shade Pearl. It's the lighter of the two shades offered. I can squeeze some out on my fingers and it's just practically a little thicker than water weight. You can see it running down my fingers. And like I said before, even the shade just called Pearl still seems to have a little depth to it. So I've put that around and I'm just gonna blend it in. This is my e.l.f. Smooth Swipe foundation brush, that really wide, big foundation brush. And look at the really pretty glow this gives to my skin that had absolutely nothing but skincare on it. Isn't that nice? Yes. So there's the Hydra Serum Mineral Radiance Drops just on their own. I think they look really nice. Then I would bring in some concealer. This is something I got the first go round. It's the Anti-Aging Correcting Concealer. Shade is 02 Eggshell. So I'm gonna pop this on. If I were wearing the liquid foundation, I would put that on next, but this concealer I find to be not super heavy duty. It's like a medium coverage concealer, so know that going in. It doesn't do the most on coverage, but it does look nice on the surface of the skin, and I do feel it pairs well with like the foundation and just the whole Nude by Nature look. But given the fact that I'm not including the liquid foundation, I'm definitely allowing myself to be a little more heavy-handed with the concealer application. If it were a really potent concealer, I would stay to my like one dot only type of thing on the inner part of the under eye and all that. Not all concealers are the same. So this is my e.l.f. Tap and Blend concealer brush. I am just tapping it around, and then I'm going to take the foundation brush and tap it in further. And I think a concealer like this really benefits from having some non-pinpointed pressure to just kind of let it work into the skin without over blending. Okay, here's what we're looking like now. Pretty good. I might build actually just a little more. I'm gonna add a hint right down here and like one dot to the nose. I'm not sure if it's showing on camera that much, but I'm just seeing a little more redness than I want to be seeing at this stage of the game, so I'm spreading out the dots and just repeating that process. Tapping it in. Yes, okay. So all that's on my skin right now, the serum drops and the concealer. And then we're gonna see what it looks like with the powder foundation, loose powder foundation on top, C3 light medium. Here's my one little gripe with the way their loose powders are packaged, and I also do have a bronzer coming up. It's loose. It's been very talked about. There's the little like mesh sifter type thing there, and then in the lid you have something that's essentially a stopper, so when you twist it shut the stuff isn't going to fly everywhere. And while I like the effort toward neatness, I don't feel like I have a real space to tap product out. You know what I mean? Like I can kind of tap some onto that surface, but it's just, I've never been a big fan of the little mesh trampoline that they put inside some of these. I'm going to use this angled brush. This is from Monge, that big like TikTok shop brush set that I got. I'm going to pick up product on that because I want something that's just not a super huge brush. I want my brush that I apply this powder with to have a little density so I can get some coverage with it. You know what I'm doing? Since it doesn't seem like there's a ton of powder coming up anywhere, I'm just gonna tap into that. And I'm gonna buff it in, and I feel like this is probably gonna add just a light bit more coverage to my look. I really feel like going over my nose, I love what just happened there. It kind of blurred, mattified a little more. Kind of sweeping around this side where some product has been picked up. Just a second, Rosie. She went in the girls' room. Buffing in. I feel like what this has definitely done, it's made my skin a little more matte. It's kind of equalized the surface of my skin. Like I can still see some glow coming through. I'm still seeing that like up on my cheeks, but it's like I've given myself a little bit of a filter almost. I can still see my freckles through it, but I think it's evened out my skin tone as a whole. I don't know that I'd want to put on really any more than what I've done here, but I think that looks nice. I'm glad I finally experimented with basically a base made up of this, and of course the concealer too, but these two things layered. If you threw the foundation in there, you'd obviously have more coverage, more evenness. But I'm not always needing that every day, you know? Here's another thing. This loose powder bronzer. This has gotten a lot of hype on TikTok. Her name is Nina Poole, I believe. She's been singing the praises of this product. Emily as well, who I like to watch. Emily also, she was looking for this at first and couldn't find it and ended up going for a darker shade of the loose powder, and that worked really well for her bronzer wise too. But I ended up getting this, the Natural Glow Loose Bronzer. Bondi Bronze is the shade, and it's packaged the very same way as the other. So I've got like some powder kind of that's sifted out, but you have the stopper as well. You know what might be nice to have handy is just an extra cap, you know, just sitting around that you could tap stuff into freely and be able to pick it up with your brush like that. And I feel like I'm almost in a Bare Minerals place, you know, with loose powder bronzer again. But I'm applying this around my hairline. It is super easy to blend. Now this is a really soft bronzer, okay? It would be like a deeper shade option for you to just go with a deeper tone of the powder. I'm thinking this has maybe a soft satin finish to it, this bronzer though. I'm picking it up, I'm contouring with it. I think the fact that it is so subtle is probably what's making it so user-friendly for people. But see how we've kind of warmed things up a little? It's just very subtle. I swear it is adding a little bit of glow. I can see it across the forehead as I do that. I like it, but I'm not gonna lie, I maybe am tempted to try out just one of the deeper powder shades just to see, because this is really, really soft. If I can get some on my finger, you can see like it's just a very soft light bronzer. My fair skin folks out there, I think might adore this bronzer. Really super easy to work with though. Not necessarily for the packaging format, but just for the way it blends into your skin, no struggle. Now blush-wise from this brand, I still do want to try one of their powder blushes. I believe they have some powder blushes. I have a stick lip and cheek, which I love, in the shade Nude Berry, the Hydra Stick Lip and Cheek. Looks like that. Looks really pretty on both lips and cheeks. I like the way it blends. But I did go ahead and try the Dewy Serum Blush Drops, and I like these as well. These give a lot of color, but it's easily blendable color. There is a little moisture in there, so the word serum really fits, I think. It's not just like one of those liquid blushes that you have to be ultra careful with, and it's just gonna hit your skin, set quickly, you gotta blend fast, intimidatingly potent. This has color payoff, don't get me wrong, but I don't feel feel like I'm struggling with it. And it's got just enough moisture to assist in the blend, I think. I got the shade Pink Petal. There's also one that looks more peachy and one that's even deeper. So I'm gonna shake them up. You can really hear how liquidy they are. I'm gonna just squeeze some out on my finger. When this was brand spanking new, a lot wanted to like keep coming out of the top, like just oozing. One thing you can do is squeeze this way, squeeze your bottle this way, it'll suck it back down and then immediately cap it and you won't have mess. But anyways, look how even though the packaging screams cool pink, it's giving more of a coral pink. I'm curious how peachy the actual like peach colored bottle looks, but let's blend it in. Serum blush. So it is giving us some moisture and look how pretty. Nice pigment. I'm not scared that it's gonna set too fast. I've got a good amount on there. You're probably wondering like how much moisture does that feel like on your skin in? Some, for sure. Like I don't feel like it's gone weightless on me or like I can't even feel it. Yes, I can feel the moisture from it. And I definitely squeezed out even more than I needed. I'm still learning with this one. I squeezed out more than I needed. I applied more to my cheeks than I even needed. But the look of health there, the glow just coming from a little dewiness. It's not out of control tacky, but yes, it is a little bit dewy. Okay, dry skin girls might enjoy this option. I dig it. I didn't have any Nude by Nature brow stuff. I have not branched out into their brow stuff, mascara, or eyeliner yet. Just a matter of time, I'm sure, but I used my Morphe Micro Brow Pencil in the shade Java and the Micro Manager Gripping Brow Gel. And I also popped on some e.l.f. Lock It Down Eye Primer. So that's what's going on now. This palette, I had this from the first Nude by Nature video. It's the Natural Illusion Eye Palette, Classic Nude. I thought maybe nobody cares to see another look put together with this one, but I'm just gonna do it. Somebody out there might want to see it. I'm just going to use a couple shades. I'm going to go down here to this second one from the end. It almost looks like a little rosy brown, and I'm just going to get that in my crease, okay? I kind of feel like this one has some one shadow look potential, so I'll probably take it further than just the crease. But I like the texture of these shadows. You know, as you saw in the other video, they're fine. They're not real different, but they put together a nice look. And I feel like you're getting some soft, like, near satin finishes in this lineup, and the deepest brown does allow you to have some contrast, some depth, which I like, but it's just easy. There's an element of ease with this brand, which I do really like. And also, since that Serum blush has been sitting on my cheeks, I would say I feel even a little less dewy than when I first applied it. And I would like to try one of their powder blushes as well. The thing is, price-wise on this brand, it's running a little more pricey than some of the brands I praise in the drugstore for keeping it really reasonable, like Wet n Wild and Rimmel and stuff. You're gonna pay a little more for Nude by Nature, but the quality is really nice. Look how I'm getting this nice little soft crease. I will use a little bit of the light shade because I like that kind of coming on the border or just up under the brow. For those of you who are always rooting for less complex eye looks and more natural, easy looks, like this would be that type of thing. Now I'm going to just switch up my brush, but go to the same shadow. So that second one from the end, Morphe M303, tapping into it. And I'm going to go over almost the whole lid. I know my last video was more of a multi-shadow look with this palette, kind of showing the extent of what it can do. And here we're gonna go simple. One shadow, and then maybe we pull back in the lighter shade just around the inner corner. Very muted, very easy. This palette does come with a very small brush, a tiny little flat brush and an angled brush. Okay, so keep that in mind. I'm gonna use the small flat side, since now I'm just wanting to take the lightness and just give myself a little around the inner corner. It's not laying down in a real pronounced way. Just a little something around the inner corner. And then I would take my Profusion small pointed brush, same shade. We're sticking really simply with one shade. And let a little bit of that come on the lower lash line softly. Why not? A true one shadow look top to bottom. We did pull in the lightest, but you wouldn't have even had to. Eyes are softly defined now. I'm gonna throw on mascara and then I'll show you the new lip stuff. Okay, I'm back. I've got mascara on. Just a really soft look, isn't it? I've got the body, I about called it bold. It's not bold. It's the Maybelline Lash Sensational Body Mascara. Like 3 coats of this stuff. I will say it's getting a little better with some age on it than it was when it was new, but it still takes work to get that body to show. And then e.l.f. Lash Extender on the lower lashes, tubing mascara. Need to try a Nude by Nature mascara, but this is what we're working with now. We're just doing a real soft, natural, easy look. And here's what I got lip-wise, okay? I realized after trying Sienna from the lip liner range, it's called a defining lip pencil. It's a classic sharpenable pencil. I realized after trying Sienna that these have tremendous staying power and are a really, really good product in this line. So I knew for sure I wanted to try another shade. So I went with this one, Dusty Pink. It shows up looking really nude on my lips. I kind of end up liking bringing in some Sienna just to create a bit of a look here, but we're gonna put on the Nude Pink. You'll see as it fills in my lips, like it is true nude, but I like the way these go on. They're not too creamy, which your lip liner shouldn't be too soft and creamy, because then it's basically like you're just putting on lipstick. You want a little element of some dryness that's gonna cling on there, and these are definitely up there with my Revlon Color Stay lip liners on staying power, so I love that. But I'm filling in my whole lips with this shade, and you're gonna see how nude it is. And that's fine, you know. If you want a nice, kind of cool nude base, this will give you that. You could stay in this place, you could just wear this, you could put a gloss on top, put a lipstick on top, whatever. This is what I'm tempted to do, because I love Sienna so much. One day over the weekend, I just wore these 2 as is, nothing else on top, because I thought it looked so pretty. I'm not fully gonna coat up my lower lip. I'm gonna come in from each side. See, like that? Get this a little more blended here. Yoink. I love it. I love that lip. But the other new thing, and the final new thing that I got, was one of the lip oils. It's called Nourishing Tinted Lip Oil, and I got the shade Pink Raspberry because I noticed while every color had its own little lane, Pink Raspberry had 2 lanes, and that told me that they see this as being a big seller, a popular one. You got your big doe foot, kind of turned back doe foot like we're seeing on a lot of the lip oils. Look at the opaque color. Tinted? Honey, I think that's as full on as any lip gloss I've seen. And as you can see, mid-tone, rosy tan kind of shade, that's what you're getting. This would pretty much blank out your lips. You don't need to coat it up with lip liner in order to have opaque color. This would give you, as you can see, that's with one little dab. Can we try to shear it out? It's a lot of color. I'm gonna take some of that, and it's gonna give me like just this nice creamy, glossy, creamy lipstick type of appearance to everything. Falls right in line with the combination of Sienna and Dusty Pink lip liners. I'm gonna swipe that monster swatch off my hand. Fresh natural look, yes. One thing I did after the mascara, I will say this, I took a little bit of my Kosas Cloud Set and I dabbed it not on top of my blush, but I kind of went right in here, right under the blush and across the forehead, just lightly, really lightly with the powder. But I'm letting the cheek kind of stay dewy because I know it does last. So this is my finished look. What do we think? I'm liking the skin, but I will admit I like it even better with the foundation involved. But this does look pretty. I feel like the foundation, what it tackles even more is kind of like the under eye coverage actually, because this is not a super full coverage concealer, and the coverage responsibility was really resting on the concealer's shoulders here when we don't pull in foundation, right? So that's what I notice as being the big difference if I don't pull in foundation. I enjoyed what the loose powder foundation actually did for things. I'm really thinking about maybe going for a darker shade instead of this Bondi Bronze. It's so light. I think fair skin would adore this as bronzer. I find it very effortless and easy on my skin tone, but next time I'm in Walmart, I might just go for a darker shade of powder and use that for even more of a contour. Not that I need it though, I have other contours on hand. I really like these dewy serum blush drops. They worked amazingly well. However, I will say the packaging on Pink Petal is gonna make you think more of a cool pink in their lineup, but I feel like you end up getting basically a coral out of this. Still wanna try a powder blush. Still would be open to more shades of the lip liner. They're fantastic. As you notice, there's still a lot of eye stuff I've yet to try, but I do kind of like that little eye palette for something very effortless and easy. The texture on this lip product, by the way, ultra thin. I'm not concerned about it slipping outside my lip line, and I will say the longer it stays on your lips, the less slippery it feels. But just know it's not sticky at all, and it's highly, highly pigmented. I think this is a really good thing in their range. I mean, did you see how opaque that was? Some of y'all who are rooting for me to always like wear lighter makeup, like here you go. It feels very light and carefree and easy today, and I do like it. I just really like the quality in this brand. I feel like everything has just been very pleasant, easy, fun to work with. Loving Nude by Nature. No, not sponsored, never sponsored, but they're kind of my brand of the moment right now, okay? So thanks for your time, everyone. I will see you again very soon. I love you. Bye.